Inshallah, heading home after giving the khutbah today at Middle Ground. And after, obviously the reality of the situation in Gaza now that they have turned off the internet so that they can really do the most satanic work in the darkness. But there's nowhere that these people can't hide. But I want to turn attention for a moment to American Muslims and their love affair with politics. And that means people that have been infatuated by the right and the left. And I think we have the right as ordinary Muslims to demand some accountability to Muslims that dabble and play in the cesspool. Muslims that went to the White House, Muslims that played around with iftar, the White House iftar, being invited by the White House. I want to know, what did you get? I want to know any Muslims that were working with so-called Muslim politicians that don't seem to take their Islam very seriously, but when it comes time to get a few votes, they will come and they know how to play the little song because we like to dance. And so they'll come and they'll pull on the heartstrings and they'll talk a certain kind of rhetoric. And they'll be invited to the care banquet, and they'll be invited to the mass banquet and the ICNA and the ISNA and every other acronym. And yes, I'm talking about the Ilhan Omars and the Rashida Tlaibs and the others that are out there. And I think it's time that Muslims demand, what are we getting out of it? And not only what did we get out of it, but was it worth the lives of thousands of dead Palestinian children? We have a right to ask, what are you getting for us? What did we as American Muslims need so bad and so desperate that they only had to offer? That many of us acted like we were doing something by participating in this satanic work. Muslims have a right. I have a right. You have a right. I want to know, what did all this activism produce? What did all of this stumping and supporting Muslim politicians get? I don't see where it got us anything. If anything, it actually only seemed to increase our dependence on the misguided notion that we need political representation in order to live a robust and dignified existence in America. What the hell did you guys get when you went to the White House, when you were invited there and they showered you with accolades and gifts? What did you get? And was it worth the price of one dead Palestinian child? And I'm not saying that there's anything that those people necessarily could have done, but I think it's high time for us to rethink our turning the other cheek and imagining that we're getting something, and in exchange that we'll give people our vote. As I wrote today on Twitter, and I posted it on my Instagram, I'll say it. Shame on anybody, and especially any Muslim that voted for Joe Biden. Shame on any Muslim that voted for Joe Biden. I want to know, what did you guys get? How are you balancing those scales that anything that you got could be worth this? I mean, I'm not saying what you got, period. I'm not saying what you got, period, as somebody who's saying Canada not excluded. Yeah. I can't speak to the Canadian reality, But you could be very well right. But I think it's time now that Muslims start demanding of these, I almost say like a kind of fifth column in our community. These people that are kind of rogue actors, these activists that are going, what are you activating? What are you doing? And many of these so-called activists are people that operate with no guidance, that have very little to no knowledge of Islam, or what they do know is dysfunctional or wrong, just to be blunt. What are you doing running to the White House? What did they give you? I hope it was worth it. That's all I can say. I really hope you can sleep at night, and I hope it was worth it.